This bonus episode of the Deck Turn Numbers podcast is brought to you by Patreon. I'm very nervous about this top, Conor. I'll tell you why.
What's that?
It's a Vans top, right? I like an oil. It's called.
Why are you wearing a Vans top?
It's called a raglan shoulder, right? I like
it's called a what?
It's a raglan sleeves. What's it called, right? I like it accentuates the bits of my body I'm happy with. The sort of top, the bulldog half.
And your eyes.
And my eyes, thank you. And I was very proud of Deer top, £60. £60 DV8. DV8? David, whatever the shop's called. Got home to my family. And my sister goes, we working on Primark today? And I'm fuming. I'm livid.
I thought you said you got home and then you seen a mirror.
Fuck you. Fucking piece.
But the Primark one's better. Like
why would I be looking at the present the wise man gave to Jesus? Mirror? No?
Should I do it on the Tyrone one and call it Mirror?
There's a couple of things that we've talked about this last week. I can't say the pizza place in Belfast.
Little Italy.
I can't say mirror. That does sound like I'm just
mirror. So then you say
mirror.
Or a window.
Because I'm going to have to fucking really work on my accent for Australia.
Yes.
Flying out tomorrow. Can't find my passport. Don't have a vaccine. Grand.
Would you fully announce window?
I think you would have to. Yeah. Do you know one thing that I think might be an issue? Do you know how whenever we're saying I in the, you might go and I was like, but sometimes it comes out I might have to. I might have to.
Or doing that one.
Do you know what I mean? I don't do that, but
you do surely.
But only when I'm in character. I don't do it for reals.
Oh, I do.
That's what I.
There's the accents thing is.
It's fine.
You don't have a Lurgan accent. You can put your Lurgan accent on when you want to, but
gone Ridley. Oh,
you're a bit more refined.
I'm an educated man. I've talked about this a million times too. What always annoys me is when I go to Australia or America or wherever. I've never been to America, I promise. When I go to different countries and then a clip goes up, people from here go, "Why are you talking to God for?" I'm like, because if I go to fucking the Sydney Opera House and I'm like, "Well, Lord, keep well," and down my hole. Why, but are we country? Fuck up. I had a big weekend of gigs. We've been talking about this before we did the questions. I was supported some fine comedians.
Some local
weekend.
Legends.
Some supported Jamo on 2 nights. Supported Ard Lohan on there on Monday night. Supported Louis C.K. On Sunday.
Nice.
And then got wild drunk. Myself, William Thompson, James McKegney.
And Louis C.K.?
No, Louis C.K. left. We didn't go into the dressing
room.
Right. Just got very
busy.
pissed. Very pissed.
Right.
Like, again, another night where I went, I had a kebab last night.
Oh, no.
Booked myself into the Malden. Stayed in a hotel, no.
And spit roast scenario, or what was going on? Or?
I wish.
No.
I'd have been all,
I thought that was the MO of the two boys, to get you drunk and take advantage of you.
Who, James and William?
Aye.
I wish. I'd flatten the two of them.
No. You'd be the meat and the sandwich. Like.
Do you think so?
Oh, aye.
Yeah. I do think if two dicks came up me, I'd be polite enough to be all right, fellas, no problem.
It's that drama degree. The who's laying it anyway, or is it anyway?
Easy for you to say. Who's laying it anyway?
That prop improvisation that you would be at, the two cocks, you wouldn't resist yourself. You'd have to do something with them.
I'm doing boxing training now, so it'd be all...
that's for the balls.
Working the bag. Give it that one. I could make them lie down, Joe, the springy. Doing, 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 doing. Doing, 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 doing. What about that, William? You want to come yet? Doing, 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 doing.
You'd be loving it.
Could you
anyway.
Oh, sorry.
Could you ever...
Do you when you see that sort of... I know this about you. I know you wouldn't be into the weird... Do you know whenever you see people that, like, they'll go to a dominatrix and it's a full-blown, what I want you to do is slap me in the balls with a ping pong paddle?
Yeah, or the ones with the fucking
studs.
Spikes in it, the studs. That's what I'm saying. Like, as you know, you sort of answered your own question, because I won't even get a tattoo, let alone a paddle of fucking studs to the fucking
on the
balls.
Like.
I have seen the
videos.
Because I think I sent you the video. There's the one where your guy's like proper.
There is one, where he's getting a proper slap.
Proper slap, and with studs and all. I don't know.
My favourite video of all time, I think, is when somebody put a dildo on a hoverboard and then drove it up someone's arse. That was a good one. Just mainly because of the accuracy.
Yeah, the skill.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, appreciating the
And
skill.
I wouldn't mind seeing the outtakes.
Yeah, because you couldn't have done that with your own. You couldn't have done that with one that's attached to you, never mind one that's remote controlled.
I mean, I've been lucky enough to be invited to perform in the anal canal.
Yes.
A few times in my life, and I found even with the steadiest of hand and the sharpest of eyes,
Yes.
still can be quite difficult to get in there.
There's a bit of manoeuvring.
You know what I mean? But I mean, that he must have hit 15, 20 mile an hour on a hoverboard, which isn't even a remote control vehicle. Like that's
straight in.
Like the dildo itself powered the.
Yeah, I'm with you. I've been there before. You need to do a 3-point turn at times, to try and get it in. But that was
straight up. Fantastic work.
So anyway,
no, we'll cover that.
This is an episode / bonus episode / question / this is the last one for Mickey leaves.
Yeah, this is the last one before I go to Australia.
And so we're gonna try and if you're waiting for another episode, it won't be another one.
Yeah, so the main episode's going to go out. We'll probably have to do it over Zoom, or there'll be a guest in. We'll figure that out.
We'll figure that out. Yeah.
So if you're listening to this, thanks for being on Patreon. And if you're listening to it not on Patreon, I'm already back from Australia.
Yeah, he's already home. But
I had a great time.
Yeah.
Or the plane crashed.
Yeah. And the accent's still.
Yeah. I'll be totally different to come back.
Yeah.
Wearing a hat and all. Call myself fucking Sheila. 100%. Drive a ute. G'day, Sheila. Fancy a fuck in the back of the ute?
Right.
Something like that. Have a couple of fucking froths, you can't.
Froths. Okay, so thanks to all our patrons as always for the questions.
It's a nice little photo, you Jimmy. A nice little photo. That's my Chopper Reed. It's bang on.
Was I
bang on, Chopper Reed?
Bang on, right.
She's looking at my ears. Sorry, go on ahead.
So
can't. Sorry.
Fucking knew there was something, right. This is the first question. Last week I failed my lorry test after making the stupidest mistake, and it has played over and over in my head to the point that I've set out my son's toy fucking cars to work out how the hell I made the mistake. Have you either of you made an absolute blunder of a mistake that has constantly played over and over in your head, and it's all you can think about? Now, we've had a funny reply. Somebody says, I have 4 times now, and I have to feed them and let them stay in the house. My wife says, can't give them up for adoption. Ha ha. Any mistake that you've made that you can't stop thinking about?
I tend to get over stuff real quick. Alcohol is always a help.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Pour yourself a wee glass of wipe the memory card, like.
Yeah, cannabis would kind of have that same
effect. You know what I mean? I remember when I failed my first driving test, I was like, it's
a bit embarrassing.
That was a bit embarrassing.
Yeah.
The time I ripped my banjo string, right? And then because it was so embarrassed about the amount of blood, I was like, are you in your period? To the girl. She was like, no. That's one that plays back in my head.
Yeah. The time I got conned, I was pretty embarrassed about that. Now.
What happened there? Someone told you were a comedian? Sorry. What happened?
I was working in the bar in London, and a bunch of wide boys is what I like to call them. You know, the fucking Burberry lads, the fucking.
Oh, right, okay.
All the fucking.
Were they
the hoods? Were they wearing hats? Yeah.
You don't talk. Do you mean was it Green Street or?
Oh no, this was real life. So
okay.
It was all.
A blend of races?
Blend of races, yeah.
Okay, cool. Because when you said white boys, I was like...
No, white boys...
Is that the W word? Just drop it?
I suppose, the white boy yardies. But no, these were, just the local fucking... You just knew...
Hoodlums. Skitters.
Ne'er-do-wells. So, now, here's the thing, right? I knew that these boys... Like, they're only about a year or two older than me. Mm-hmm. But I thought, fuck, there's so many of them. I'm going to have to try and get these guys served as soon as possible, blah, blah, right? Okay. Yeah. So, one of the guys came up, and we did food, ordered a fucking couple of steaks, ordered, for the table they were at. Okay, that's fine. I went and put the phone order in, came back, and the guy was like, you know what, mate, fuck it, cancel that order, we're not going to bother. And I was like, oh, fucking dickheads. So I went and cancelled the order, that was fine. Everything was grand, they left, and that was it. Until the next day, the guy who empties the pool table money box came in, and the money box wasn't in the fucking pool table.
What the fuck?
So the decoy was the guy ordering the food. And the other 6 or 7, then once we got the CCTV of what happened, they huddled around the thing where nobody would have seen and shimmied the fucking with a screwdriver and took the money out.
See,
And then I got a fucking bollock, and then from a big fucking the big hair that owned the place from Meath, calling me on but a useless cunt and stupid bastard.
Yeah.
How'd you fall for that? So I was fucking mortified.
I mean, that's not really your fault. How do you fall for somebody ordered food? That's not. Do you know what I mean?
should have known. I should have known. There was, but I also should have known with the amount of steaks they were ordering. They're never going to pay for them. It's stupid cunt. Like, I shouldn't have fallen for it. But.
I know there's been, like, I was talking to Andrew Ryan yesterday about people, like, professional. So people go in, order food, eat most of it, complain about it, and get it for free.
Oh, that's rife, yeah.
And he worked in London. That was a big issue. Was people would constantly turn up and.
Yeah.
He told me a story that a fire alarm went off in the building and everybody left, and then everyone just stayed away. Like, nobody paid for
Nobody
their
paid for it.
They all just fucked off.
Okay. No.
I would think that's a great way to fucking scam an entire business.
Yeah, put the fire alarm off.
Yeah, just finish your dinner, go and take a phone call. Oh, accident. Oh, no.
Everybody out.
Run.
No, we don't promote that.
We don't promote that.
We don't obviously, but that is genius. Like.
I think it's a weird one because, like, as I think as well, because from doing stand-up, there's so many times you've died in your hole.
That's what I was going to say.
They
We're
become the more embarrassing things than
Yeah.
things that have actually happened in your real life.
Because that's what I was trying to think of there. You kind of become immune to embarrassment in that sense. Like when you've been on a stage and you've asked for the attention of these people,
Yeah.
and they don't give it to you.
Yeah.
You're like, yeah, this is.
Like I like a few months ago did a joke that bombed so badly that I've woke up thinking about it. Like, oh Christ.
PTSD.
So
from
probably
a joke,
like, and again I've talked to you about. I told you the joke out there, and you were like, I don't know. And then I went down to the Empire, and Colin Murphy was all, don't do that. And then fucking everybody else around by, they were going, nah, don't do it. And my brain was going, you're Mickey Bord, you'll be all right. And then I did it. Really, really offended somebody. To the point where the person who got offended actually fucking messaged Queen's Comedy Club trying to get me cancelled from a gig in a different venue 2.5 months later. And if I find him, I don't know, offend the fucking head off him.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. The embarrassment's sort of there, always floating about, sort of thing, isn't it? It's always. That's the point of our game. You should. The funnier it is for the audience is the more you can highlight that you've been embarrassed, the more you fucked up, or the more you've had a mistake.
It weirdly gives you a shield where you, if you do something stupid, you immediately go, that's 5 minutes. So the embarrassment turns into excitement, which then eventually turns into money.
Yeah, and everybody else, that embarrassment leads to thinking about it for night after night after night, shouting, worrying about it and all the rest, and also
you go, I could be a closer.
Everyone else, we're like, well, fuck, that's at least 7 minutes.
Yeah. I mean, I know there's, and this wasn't really, it wasn't really anything that was my fault, but I remember it being quite embarrassing was, I went for a poo in a toilet one time. Mm-hmm. Just one time. The rest of the time was just in a field. But I was out for the night, and it was a really, really cold night. It was freezing, and the bathroom was freezing, and my arse hit the toilet seat. And you know when you go for a poo, you do a pee.
Yeah.
But because it was so cold, my willy was just skin.
Yeah.
And I managed to like somehow piss out of the toilet onto the back of my own jeans.
Done that many times.
And had to go about my evening with a pissy or something. Like that was.
I pushed myself in Sally's one time, right?
So what I love.
But
anytime I talk about an embarrassing shit or piss story, you're like, I beat that.
You just reminded me of it. But it was like, I'll never, for as long as I live, I'll never forget it, because it was in Sally's front bar, and I knew I had to go to the toilet. But when I got to the only toilet, there was 4 people in the queue.
Aye.
And I'm standing going, I need a toilet, and I couldn't go into the female because they had a queue.
Aye.
And the place was fucking heaving, and I was bouncing wall to wall thinking, and I'm not going to make it to the pub across the street, so I need to get into this toilet, and it wasn't happening. I just stood there, and there's not, when it gets to that point, there's nothing you can do, and it just happened, and I was like, oh,
it's that thing when you start pissing yourself, your brain's going, stop that, and your rest of your body's going, no, this feels class.
The bottom half of me was like, whoa. I had to go straight back to the table. I was like, where you go? Down my pint, walking out the door. Where are you going? I was like, fucking piss myself.
I pissed myself in New York one time. So I was on my own, and I was doing a wee one-man pub crawl. Just had fucking a day to kill, and whatever. Do you know what happened? I was using Google Maps to show you City Mapper. Yeah. So the Google Maps just takes you the straight, sort of streets. Whereas City Mapper's like, you can cut through this, you can cut through that, whatever. And I thought, well, I'll just walk down here and see what's fucking down this street. walking, and there was no pubs, no restaurants,
Man,
nothing.
There's nothing worse.
And I'm like, I am going to fucking piss myself.
Yeah.
And then I'm looking down alleyways thinking, I could just piss down here, be all right. And then in my head, I'm going, no, it's New York. It's broad daylight. It's not, you can't just sneak behind a dumpster and have a piss.
Yeah.
And then got to this bar, like, up, it was the top of, like, fucking the building, and it was just steps, like a hipster fucking
No, right, like.
ran upstairs. And I'm like, oh, have you got a bathroom? Like, are you ordering a beer? And I'm like, yeah, fucking. And she was like, over here. And I'm like, give me a pint. And got to the toilet. And as I opened the toilet door and saw the toilet, my dick was like, we're home.
And
piss
done.
all,
There's
and I remember like trying to take my willy out of my jeans, and I was pissing, so it was this, like trying to hold soap. And
the hose gets the pressure on too much.
But it was like managed to like piss from my sleeve and everything. Like,
oh man!
And then had to like, thank God I had like a scarf with me, so I kind of held the scarf down. And then sat in that bar until my jeans dried because I couldn't go
And your
home.
dreams too.
Yeah, because I was staying with Danny Sloss and like,
oh fuck!
I'm like, I can't go back to fucking Netflix comedians flat, covered in sugar puff juice, like. Do you know, and I pissed myself in front of Sean Walsh one time at Glastonbury as well.
Oh no!
Again, same thing, massive queue, and it was like, usually it was the toilets were never that busy. There was always a stall or somewhere you can go, and the signs up everywhere like, don't piss in the fields because they're trying to keep it all hippie and whatever else. And standing, I was like, oh, Sean, what's the crack? And I thought it would take my mind off it, but it took my mind off trying not to piss. And I just started pissing, and I was like, I'm sorry about this, and just had to like stand and pee in a hedge.
The most recent was about 2 weeks ago. No, last week. Coming back from Lavery's, it just hit me, and I was like, I need to go to the toilet, and I was at about 10 miles outside of Wilma, and I thought, I'll be all right.
Right.
I got a mile outside of Wilma, I thought, oh, this is getting
Not
close.
going to make it.
It's not going to get close. And I think I was about 800 yards from the house. I just had to pull in.
Aye.
And piss
It
on the
happens,
road.
like,
I had to just piss in the field outside the fucking TNF, actually, which is the sort of a place for people with mental illness. So you had this fucking weirdo just pissing into them, waving. But it was such an emergency. And at my time, I was thinking, because I still had that, it was that much of an emergency, I just literally left the car running, everything, lights and all on.
Aye.
No bigger attraction could I have done than left the lights on and everything. We stand pissing inside the road.
There's nothing, like I've done it. I remember, where was I coming back from? I was coming back from a gig in Derry. It was during the summertime. And I pulled into there's a wee park and ride thing at Ballygolly, just beyond Ballygolly.
Yep.
And again, I was like working, and it's just the most open car park. And it was the one time I went, fuck me for buying this wee small Audi. I can't even hide behind it. And just pissed in that field. And I was like, there's people everywhere. And it was windy, so the piss is doing that like, woo! You're like, fuck. Like a fucking ribbon gymnastic. Ah!
You see the wee woman down there eating a sandwich?
Aye.
What the fuck's that?
Jesus Christ, when's this bus getting here? Do you ever have that experience where you need a pee so bad when you start peeing eventually? Obviously, your prostate starts to relax.
Yeah.
And you're like, I'm going to take a shit. Stand up here.
Oh,
Like everything goes.
the whole lot. Oh, and it gets worse too, by the way. Just let
I
you know.
I'm
you're
looking forward to it.
You've
Can't wait.
I have 5 years on you, at least.
Have you had the old check yet? Check the donut?
Oh, from
a doctor?
From a doctor? No.
No. When did they do that? 50?
50, I think, normally,
All right.
yeah. Oh, okay.
That seems a bit late. I feel like I'm going to need that about 41, 42. Maybe all doc, you wouldn't go up there, would you? Have we?
Oh, well, that's what you have.
Shine a flashlight about.
That's what you have a partner for.
When there's I couldn't make a.
Go on.
I'd have to be a medical professional. One thing that I really dread. I may have talked about this before. Me and Geddes, we were about 26, 27 years of age. We were in Masons one night. Really, really cold night. Drove the whole way to Derry. Both of us, I need to piss. Ran in the bathroom to pee. And there was a guy at the urinal who clearly had a prostate thing happen. And is maybe in his 40s. And he was going, ugh,
Oh.
Yeah. And Geddes was laughing his head off, and all I was doing was thinking, that's the future.
Yeah. It's common for us, boy. Right, well, lads, moving to Canada today and I'm going to have to do my first long-haul flight. Any tips on how to make it more comfortable? Well, by the time you hear that, hopefully you're in Canada, so the tips might not be any benefit to you. But what is your tip now?
4 whiskeys.
Your 4 whiskeys? 4 whiskeys and...
Is the water in that bathroom or in that kitchen safe to drink?
Not so sure. Did you let it run for a wee while?
Not long enough. That tastes weird.
Aye, okay. I wouldn't touch that.
Tastes like paint.
Yeah. Four whiskeys.
This is Michael. For just £4 a month, you can get him a glass of clean water.
Four whiskeys straight.
4 whiskeys, 2 cokes, bang, bang, bang.
And then sleep the whole way.
As quickly as possible. Drink them in as quick succession as you can.
And then sleep.
And I'll get you a wee buzz and you just fall asleep.
And you would stand by that. Now, what happens when you get to your destination? Are you at dying?
No.
No?
For a long haul flight, like by the time you'll sleep it off in 6 hours. Like,
right, okay.
I fucking dreading this tomorrow too.
There you are. So 4 whiskeys or the beverage of your choice. Alcohol,
yeah. But whiskey and coke seems to work for me.
There you go. I would say a lock of muffins would do the job.
Oh.
Right. Yes, lad. That's for you, I think. Can't wait to see you in Sydney on the 4th of November. Yes, definitely for you. The suburb beside where your gig is called Surrey Hills and has plenty of watering holes for after if you've time to kill while in Sydney. And then Deep Throat's not happy. He just says you can fuck off too.
Well, Surrey Hills, to be completely honest with you, is a fantastic part of Sydney. There's a bar. It isn't there anymore, I don't think. But the first time I went to Sydney, they put me up in Surrey Hills in it was like a 3-story. It was a millionaire's house, without a doubt.
Right, okay.
There was a jacuzzi bath. There was a balcony that I didn't go into because there's loads of spider webs. And Australia, fuck that. Like there was the bedroom upstairs had a fucking like massive plasma TV with a fold out sofa, and it wasn't even the most comfortable room. I was like, I'm going to sleep in this one because the TV's belting. But there was a bar around the corner from it that did $5 beers, and it turned out it was a gay bar. And me and my friend Mick, who's from Lurgan as well, when they were drinking. Mick's quite a good looking dude, and these 2 gay guys were like, "Who's you fucking?" And they were like trying to chat him up, and he was fuming that 2 fellas thought he was gay. And I was fuming nobody fancied me. There's also a pie shop around there the last time I was there. I once had it was like a chicken tikka pie.
Maybe.
One of the nicest things I've written.
Yeah, I told you last week about watching that Opal Hunters thing, and they came across, and it scared the fucking life of me, a spider. And I have never seen a spider that puts its 2 arms up in the fucking air ready to fight.
Aye.
Like, it was that big. Its 2 front tentacles went up as if say, let's go. And I was like, that is a fucking beast of a thing.
I'm thinking about, there was a clip came out of the podcast one time whenever Novak Djokovic, do you remember I did that whole thing about like all the things that can kill you in Australia? Yeah. So we're going to Perth. It's one but I've never been to, and I think it's a bit more snaky.
Lovely.
And I've realised in all the time I've spent in Australia, so I think I've added it up, it's probably 4 months. Have I been there 4 times or 3 times? I can't remember it, but say roughly 4 months of my life I've spent in Australia. That's 2 shits a day, roughly, for 4 months. Not one of those shits that I take without checking a toilet for a snake or a spider. Yeah. Even though you'd be in the fucking 13th floor of a hotel. There's not once.
That's what pumps do, boy. They pump the snake.
I heard a story about it one time. I heard a story about a young fella from Ireland that was working on a building site, went for a shite in a porta potty, get bit in the bollock by a fucking redback spider, balls swole up, had to go to hospital, venom, all that sort of stuff. 2 weeks off work, went back to work. First day he was back at work, went for shit in the toilet, bit him in the other bollock. I was like, that's enough for me to just...
That'll do. That's enough.
Yeah.
That's why I never go to Australia. Right.
$60 for cigarettes. I'm going to die of fucking frustration.
Definitely not going to fucking Australia. The question is, did your other half go down under you? Or did you even go? And if so, did you see any nice touristy spots? I think this person has read the question wrong.
Thinks that, I'm just back from Australia.
You're back tomorrow.
Okay.
But you're going tomorrow.
I'm going tomorrow.
So we'll save that question when you come back.
Yeah. And, I can tell you now, no, she's not bringing my girlfriend to Australia. You can't cheat on her when she's... That's the one problem with these trips, right? So I got the itinerary for this thing, and the only day off I have is flying to Australia. And I'm going to say fuck all. There's so many internal flights that I didn't register. So I'm going to be I'm going to be in Darwin. I'm going to be in Canberra. I'm going to be in Cairn. The last week is Sydney, and that's what I'm looking forward to.
Right, okay.
So if you're in
we
Sydney,
are looking forward to all of them.
I'm looking forward to all of it.
Yeah.
But Sydney's the one where I'm like, I get to be in the same bed every night.
Yeah,
class.
7 nights in a row. Right, okay. What's the most cringe-inducing toe curling thing you've seen? I was doing the door once over Christmas in the 90s. Some young office fella snogged a 60-year-old woman that looked like Health Secretary Trees Coffee. I don't know what Trees Coffee looks like, but most cringe-inducing toe curling thing you've seen.
To be honest, a lot of it's social media stuff.
Yeah, there's hardly in real life.
Stuff that really puts the willies up me now is watching people people who are trying to be influencers.
That's cringe.
Anytime I see somebody I know say the word "Hey guys, I haven't been on here in a while," I go, "Get the fuck back to work, you lazy bastard."
I heard one
Cringes
time.
the shit out of me.
I heard one because there is such a thing as hate listening. Like,
Yeah, well, I've talked about this over the last couple of weeks. I've definitely not followed people on social media, but typed their name in the TikTok just to go, "You ball bag."
yeah, that's mental. That you would spend time with all that. But
In my head, I go, "There's a joke in this somewhere," and I have to stare at it
oh yeah,
to figure out what the
that
joke is.
justifies
But
it.
in reality, it's just me being in the house, just fucking.
Yeah, I would have like I have heard my wife listening to somebody, and they're not from home or whatever. They're from up the country or something. And I've seen her watching the same woman, and each time go, fuck, I hate her. Like, why are you watching it then?
It's definitely.
I wouldn't sit down to watch a program that I fucking hate.
Aye.
I don't understand why you would listen. But anyway, so I was listening one time, and you know the way, obviously, if your partner's listening to the phone or whatever, I could hear this going on. So I could hear somebody local to who's an influencer talking about cooking, and I thought, okay, and she was going on about all these meals that she would make, and she goes, coming up, I have a top tip for you guys. This will change your life when it comes to cooking a chicken curry. And I was like, ooh. I thought, fuck, I'll listen actually to see, because, you know, yourself, like a wee bit of cooking, you know, like a wee bit of food. And she goes, here's my tip, guys. When you're cooking a curry, buy pre-cooked chicken. I was like, what? Do you know the packets of dry fucking lumpy chicken?
Smell like farts.
Smell like farts. She's putting that into thing. She goes, and this is the next word it was. She goes, I know people will say, why not use real chicken? She says, but I don't mind eating it, but I don't like to touch it. And I was like, that is fucking mental. And she genuinely believed that she was going to change people's lives by telling them to put in this rubbery fucking chicken in the curry. And I was like, and I said to the wife, I was like, does that not sum up? Because even she was like, what the fuck? And I was like, well, why are you watching this?
There's, there's something about the way people behave on the internet. But then I'm thinking,
says us on the internet.
Says us on the internet, but like, but we've at least a fucking milligram of self-awareness.
Well, you have to be if you're doing stand-up.
Do you know what I mean? Yeah. Like the
oh, here's the thing. This is the thing I should say. I don't have a problem with somebody being an influencer.
I do.
Oh no, I don't mind it.
Even the title of it,
whatever that.
To me, somebody
influencer / blogger, whatever they want to call it, if they have a skill, or a talent, but somebody who just thinks they're popular.
Yeah. Somebody who's like, I got this fucking outfit from whatever.
Somebody that's into whether there's hairdressing or it could be construction or anything at all, or comedy, whatever. If they've got a skill, happy days, understand it. But these people just thinking, well, I think I'm very interesting.
Yeah, I think there's that. To me, it's like somebody who goes, I want to go into politics.
Yes.
I go, I don't trust politicians. Yeah. When somebody goes, I want to be an influencer, I go, you would kill somebody. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? To me, there's a level of, I will do whatever the fuck I have to do to be either well known or paid.
That's
or whatever
what I
it
say.
is.
It's fame.
You'll cut somebody's throat.
It's fame for fame's sake. Like it's not. It's ultimately what it was like 20 years ago with the reality TV.
Yeah.
We all went through that thing going, why are these people famous? They're famous for doing nothing. And this is kind of the same. Yeah.
It's always the thing I remember the first time I saw a reality TV star on I'm Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here.
Yeah.
I was like, there's something wrong here.
It's very meta, isn't it? Like, it's too surreal.
Like, you're famous for sitting down and doing fuck all, and now you're on a show where you're sitting down doing fuck all because you sat down and did fuck all, and I'm sitting here watching it.
I've said to you before about the Big Brother progression.
Aye.
Like, we started off with sitting in our house, watching people sit in the house doing nothing.
Aye.
To Gogglebox.
Aye.
Where now we sit in the house, watching people sit in their house, watching TV. It's like, what the fuck is going on in the world? Anyway.
Have you ever heard anybody go, we should be on Gogglebox? Because we used to watch crack when we were watching TV. And you go, get out of my house.
I haven't.
Fuck out of my house.
Thankfully, nobody would know.
Mum.
Yeah. No, never to say that in front of me because they're going to get torn apart. Right. Morning, gents. Any celebrities over the age of 65 you want to ride?
Dolly Parton.
Mickey, enjoy Down Under. And Connor.
Carl Vorderman.
Where's summer you'd like to gig?
Sorry, I didn't hear the second one.
See, because you were too busy fucking thinking about
Carl Vorderman's only 61.
Hal Mirren, like, it's got to be number one.
Nah.
Come on.
Well, how old's Jamie Lee Curtis?
Should be not far off it now, aye.
That's
Tina T.
Fine looking woman.
Tina T.
What do you call her? Diane Keaton.
Yep.
Sublime.
Bette Midler? Don't know.
Don't know about Bette now.
Don't know.
To be honest with you, she's 82, 83, something like that, isn't she?
Fucking don't know what age, but she's old now.
Who else? Who else over?
There's something about Mary Berry.
It's the cakes, Connor.
Maybe that's what it is. Maybe I associate with the food.
I wouldn't be in the Mary Berry, now, to be honest. Mary Berry.
Can you
Mary
imagine?
Berry.
Cream pie, Mary Berry.
Oh, Connor.
Lordy.
Do you know what I did do the other day?
What's that?
I was typing MILF into Pornhub.
Of course you were.
And it came up British MILF.
Yes.
Now, have you ever noticed that British pornography is fucking disgusting compared to American pornography? Mm-hmm. Like, American porn's like, oh my God, like, right, whereas British porn is like, she's taking the dick out of her mouth to smoke. Do you know what I mean? And British MILFs, don't look that up. It's rotten.
It's lovely, man.
It's not at all, man.
It is, surely.
I've never checked out Irish. An Irish MILF would be fantastic. She'd just make a big bowl of stew. Sit down there and have a wank. Just knitting in the corner. Have you enough milk?
Give you a full soda.
Do you know what I mean? Aye.
And then something to eat as well.
I'm fucking starving. I'm making a full soda later.
And then the second part, Mick, enjoy Down Under, and Connor, where's somewhere you'd like to gig? I don't know. I think we've done all of.
I'd like to do New York again. I mean, I'd like to do New York for the first time.
Yeah, no, I kind of hit the places I wanted to do.
Yeah.
But I don't really have any big dreams of like big massive like arenas or anything like that. Correct?
I would love to do a night or two where it's like the sort of New York double up.
Yeah,
like the
that'd be
Cellar,
nice. Yeah,
comedy,
yeah,
like
yeah. I would love to do it live. I'd love to do it live at the French.
Yeah.
I'd always think that, but I'd never say awake. Right, what's one thing you'll both miss the most about each other when Mickey's away? I would say your charm.
Your company.
Your tales of wisdom.
Your tales of woe.
That's what you call the episode. Wisdom and woe.
You tell me tales and I go, whoa.
What else?
I think we've been time part one does about no harm.
No, you're right. Has been like if you think about it, we're like 130 episodes in. Just something that was supposed to be 6.
I'll miss the shit we say before the camera starts recording. Yeah. Really, you fucking hear what he did. I'll miss that.
I'll have a load of free. I'll see what I'll offer you back.
I'll dare say I'll face maybe sometime 4 a.m. Connor, we hear that last night.
We really need to figure that out, the time difference then, so that so you coming home at 1 o'clock in the morning is 1 o'clock our time, is that right? Or is it
roughly
12? Or,
yeah, I think it's 11 hours, but it depends on where I am because Perth is a different time zone than Sydney. So
we'd like to figure that out when you're coming home from.
We'll also have to figure out
just one.
We'll definitely do one in Perth, and we'll definitely do one in Sydney.
Okay.
Because there'll be a couple of days at least where I'm in the same place where the Wi-Fi will be good.
Yeah. Okay.
For a lot of these things, it'll be out in the fucking
and well, I'll try and pull in a few favors and see if we can get some people down as well to fill in. So. Won't miss you that much.
You should be alright with that, man.
Lads, were you a fan of school? Keep telling my boys that primary school will be the best days of their lives, but they're not convinced. University's a close second, and the less said about secondary, the better.
I quite like school. No, tell a lie. Primary school, you dander through that, no problem. Secondary school, 1st to 5th year.
I was going to say I enjoyed
fucking hated it.
Oh, I enjoyed 1st to 5th year.
A levels. Fucking great time.
I was absolute had a shit time in the levels.
So
but I do remember
maths.
I do remember
5th year, so
I remember being quite like almost fucking depressed during like early teenage years. You know, really fucking hating school, hitting life in general. And then you're older, constantly. Oh, these are the best days of your life. I'm going, this is the best.
Aye, this is the peak.
I'm feeling like shite, and this is the best I'm going to feel the rest of my life. So stop fucking saying that to people because you don't know where they're at that moment.
Yeah.
They're not the best days of your life. They're fucking shit. Your fault. You have to walk left in the corridor.
Aye.
You have to wear fucking.
That was always a weird
you have
one.
to dress like you're going to a fucking business meeting every day.
Yeah. And even now, like even if it's like you can't wear a coat because it interferes with the uniform. So you have to stand freezing in a blazer and a pullover like a fucking parish priest.
A bunch of fucking fascists and most of the schools around here. Like your haircut has to be the same way. You can't have certain type of shoe. You know, it's fucking.
It's
mental.
weird. Now I've seen kids in school uniforms with beards now.
Yeah,
That
causes
just freaks me out.
I remember one time. I don't know what's in their head, like teachers, I mean, or people in authority, that they have to have uniformity.
Right.
They have to see everything being the same. I remember being in assembly one time, and I was a 7th year, but I was, as I always was, a big unit. And I remember being in assembly, it was warm, and I took my blazer off just to put it around the seat behind me. Like.
Aye.
And I don't know why, or I don't know if the principal just didn't like me, was probably more to the point, but stopped the whole assembly and put your blazer on. Pointed me out in front of fucking 600 fucking... Like, I don't know where he just could see the blue
Aye.
out of instead of the black, and that just put him off. But he had to get me to put the fucking...
Well, I was like,
this is
when I think
warm.
of some of the things that, like, I remember a teacher in primary school, right? We were at a fucking school assembly and everybody was singing, and I was miming. I can't fucking sing. And the teacher came over, like, as we were still singing, and grabbed me by the elbow and went, "If you don't start singing now, I'm going to stand you up in front of that thing and make you sing on your own in front of everybody." And I remember being like, I know I'm only 9,
Yeah.
but I'm aware I'm only 9. Like, what the fuck's wrong with you that you would come over and put the fear of God on the child?
Mental. The whole thing. So, no, I wasn't really... I was able, especially in secondary school, I was able to suss out the whole authority dynamic.
Yeah.
Isn't really real. And I used to bend the rules a wee bit. And
I was quite good up until, but like, I think what happened to me was in upper 6th, I was then doing like the subjects I wanted to do. Mm-hmm. Right, so I was doing history, politics, and fucking drama. So I was doing history and politics, and I was interested. Then I kind of looked forward to going to school because I was enjoying what I was doing.
Yeah.
Whereas before that, like, fuck, I have maths on Friday. I have double period maths with that fucking convent teacher, like, and all these different things that I remember we had a technology teacher and we were making some shit out of wood and she just hated me. And I think it's one of the first times where you kind of, school's one of the first places where you go, oh, this person doesn't like me and I don't know why.
Oh no, I knew.
In terms of adults, like,
oh no, I knew they
whenever it was
liked me, and
different,
I
but
also knew why. Like, yeah.
See, no, I remember this fucking technology hated me, and I, again, no idea why. I don't know if it was because I was no good at it, but she just had this dislike to me. And we were making these it was like a fucking wee wooden toy car thing. I remember, like, so the back wheel was like an oval to a wee toy that would do that. And we had to sand it before you could paint it. So I was sanding it every day, fucking sand. I spent a whole Friday just fucking sanding this bit of wood. And she was an English teacher, she was an English woman. And you'd bring it up there and she'd rub it on her cheek to see if it was smooth enough, right? So I'm fucking smoothing this thing down. She brought it up and she would go, "Smoother!" And give it back to me, right? And I'd be back like fucking, right? Go up there again, "Smoother!" Right? And I went up to her, she put it on her cheek, she went, "Smoother." I handed it to my mate. I went, "Go up to her and give it." And she went, "That's great."
No fuck.
And I remember being like, "You fucking bitch." Had me fucking covered in splinters just to piss me off for
As a
whatever
punishment
reason.
or some reason.
Like,
Aye.
and then, like, I've talked to teachers and they'll go, "Oh, there's kids." You just look at them, you go, "I fucking don't like you." I don't know why.
Well, I knew, like, I knew that I was a discussion within the staff room, like, because whenever they would, if I started a new school year, the teacher would actively seek me out and say, "Where's Connor Keys?" And I'd say, "Here." I said, "Come you up," and I'd have the front seat.
Oh no, you real bad boy.
A front seat every single fucking class. And actually, one teacher caught on in first year to put me not only in the front seat, but at a special seat at the side of her desk.
Oh, you real bad boy.
Right, so I had a special seat side of her desk, and she put me there in first year, and she had me. It was for French, first year, so all the way to fifth year. That front seat at the side of her desk from day fucking one.
Aye.
And the only subject, and she says, "Yeah, I got an A in," was French.
Seriously, aye.
No distraction. So whenever I actually could fucking pay attention to something, I would go all right with it. But no, I was just pure badness, like, and I just distracted the rest, like, constantly messing about. So
I never really messed about, but it was quick enough that if mess was directed toward me,
aye, yes, no, I would have been the leader, like, I'd have been the boy directing you, like, go on.
aye, no, because I remember, like, I know the time I got into a fight with the guy who turned to be a pedo. Whenever the teacher, it was our form teacher, was like, "What happened?" I told him what the crack was. He's like, "You won't have to get a detention. Now go home and tell your parents you got detention." And I was fucking freaking out, and I never got the detention because he was like, "Good man."
Right. 'Twas me, Marco. All right, okay. So the story last week about the sonified pee.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was he rebranded after too many shit stories.
Told you.
Also, all but the sugar puff bit was true. So yeah, I'd never lied to you lads. When I was a baby, my aunt lifted me up in the air while changing my nappy, and I pissed in her mouth. What bad baby stories do you all have? And enjoy Oz, Mike.
Oh, thank you.
Baby stories? I don't think I have.
I don't remember much about being a baby.
No.
I do remember there was I used to love Bullseye when I was a kid, right?
Oh yeah.
And my dad bought me a dartboard with legit darts. And there was a point, which remember you used to have, they would have the dartboard on one side of the camera and then the thrower.
The thrower,
right?
yeah.
And I remember doing this. I remember thinking, oh, that's where you stand. So I would stand beside the dartboard and throw it in at an angle, right? But
Yeah, I totally get that. Yeah,
I was pretty good at it, right? So, but there was a night, and I remember this.
Imagine you on full time
No,
stand to the side,
like all the darts went in sideways. It wasn't missing, like. But and I couldn't throw a dart now. But I remember there was a time where, and I must have been fucking 3 or 4, where my auntie Maura, God rest her, was around at mum and dad's house for a drink, and it was one of them like, "Won't wake him up the fuck," right? So Maura was sitting on the kitchen chair holding a dartboard, and I was throwing live darts at it. I remember it. She was like, fuck. And my dad was like, "You'll not miss." You see, like,
maybe. Yeah, I don't really have. I do know that I've told you this before. This would explain my my heft.
the boiled egg thing.
The boiled egg thing, and that was always used. But then you have that, and then I also remember that I have my aunt that I've talked to you about, who is 9 years older than me, so not that much between us. And I have a lot of recollections of she didn't like the dinner that was being cooked and would force me to eat it.
Sorry, say that again. Sorry, I just got to fucking.
Go on ahead, sure. Just work away your mess.
Sorry, I'm just fucking landlords. Will you stay for an all year? I don't know.
In Australia, yeah. So she didn't like the dinner being made. My granny was making dinner. She didn't like it. So I, maybe being 4 or 5, she was early teens, maybe 12. Literally with a knife underneath, going to eat that fucking dinner, because she wasn't allowed to leave the table until she had her dinner. So then, because she didn't like it, I had to eat it.
Fucking force feeding.
So every day I was double dinnering every day without nobody knowing. And then, well, you're getting wild bike. I don't know what's going on. So I always blame her. So making me fat, Henry.
I think there was a time where I used to shit under the table.
Nice.
Like I'm a nappy, obviously.
Aye.
But if I wanted to go for a poo, I would excuse myself. Like, hey, go by that, and just go onto the kitchen table and be like. Even then, I had manners.
Yeah.
I think other baby story. I remember the first time my nephew was changing his nappy and he pissed while I was changing his nappy.
Right.
And that was like the because you have to kind of just basically throw a baby wipe over his willy.
Aye.
It's the first time I'm going like, whoa, yeah, it's skitty you.
It's like a chip pan on fire.
Yeah.
You have to get the wet dishcloth over top of it.
And the first time he did a particularly hard poo and I had to karate chop a shite off his arse. Do you know what I mean? In terms of that side of things, like.
Oh, there was plenty of, yeah. Well, fuck, if we can go into baby stories, then I could give you a few, all right. Right, Yums, from last bonus questions, you mentioned your taste for good coffee. I'm always in the search for a new taste or recommendation, including beans, ground, instant. My go-to is Lavazza Oro in the AeroPress. I've never tried that. I'm going to give a shout out to Mickey Quinn, the DJ in Oma, who also does his own roast of coffee.
Oh, yeah.
808, I think is the name of it, 808 beans. And expensive, but very, very worth it. Very. I can't buy as many as I'd like because I drink so much of it that I couldn't justify the cost. But yeah, go and check them out. Oma now has a coffee place like I was complaining about before that weighs out the coffee. We have made it. We have made it now. We have got a hipster coffee place. And
full moustache, no?
Full moustache and only one size of cup. You can't ask.
Tiny, big.
Small, tiny. And that's it. Can't ask for a large or a small.
A grande or anything?
No. Because it's their recipe.
Gotcha. That's one thing I'm looking forward to Australia. The coffee's always class out there.
Oh,
They take it very seriously.
Yeah. And don't get me wrong, these guys take it seriously too, but I actually watched a girl take, no joke, a quarter of a teaspoon out of it to get the weight right. And I'm like, Like that actually.
That is
It's fucking
impressive.
Dear Connor and Monty Shitblaster Bartlett, is there a way I can redirect my
Whoa.
Patreon money to Connor Keys only? 2 years of reporting from the front line of COVID purgatory, risking life and lungs to bring you breaking news as it happens. What thanks do I get? Captain Flaky only plays the gay capital of Australia and a selection of bump hoke nowheres. It is like Bob Hope going to entertain the troops in Vietnam but not leaving the poolside bar. I shall personally make it my mission to include coleslaw and ginger cats in every single one of your riders, you fucking cunt. Can't. I hope someone called Bruce drinks your water whilst making eye contact, you frog licking fuck you.
Why? I didn't lick the frog. The frog licked me.
This is love, you know.
Is that
That's Deep Throat.
I thought Deep Throat was in Perth.
Obviously not. Mustn't be. Okay. I don't know where he is. It doesn't say. You're obviously not going to him?
I think, but the looks of things, the only place I'm not going anywhere near is Melbourne.
Where's the gay capital of Australia? What's he talking
Sydney,
about?
I think
Sydney.
that's
Is that what he's talking about? Right.
I think because that's Surrey Hills. Place is a pretty.
So where else is there?
lot of
Sydney and
rainbows out
Perth.
there.
What else is in Australia?
You've Melbourne, Brisbane, you've Gold Coast, you've Darwin,
Big
currently.
places like, so where else
Canberra,
could he
the
be?
capital.
You're going to all of them, are you not? Where are you
Hardly.
missing out of those big names?
Melbourne.
Melbourne. Oh, he's probably in
Yeah,
Melbourne.
supposed to be Melbourne.
Sure, he is in Melbourne. Sure, he told us all that. That's right.
Sorry, well, it's not my fault.
Well.
Right.
Tough shit. Right. What's your thoughts on the Philip Schofields having a super injunctions?
What's so super about it?
Don't know. You just can't talk about it. I don't know what the.
I didn't. No, okay. The Philip Schofield thing, right? Whenever Philip Schofield came out,
Mm-hmm.
right? Do you remember it was on this morning? Not there. I mean, the show.
The show.
And Hollow Willoughby goes, "Now, just being clear, you're not being coerced into doing this. This is off your own accord, your own whatever."
Mm-hmm.
And he was like, "It's absolutely just it's time to do the right thing." I was like, "Someone's fucking blackmailing him straight away."
Yeah.
As soon as they mentioned, "This is your own idea,"
Mm-hmm.
I have seen a load of stuff going around social media and TikTok.
All right.
What are we allowed to say we've seen things as opposed to what does it mean about a super injunction? Do you know what I mean? How much trouble could we get into if I was to go, I seen a video that says that?
I don't know, and that's why. That's somebody said last week. What would you like to get rid of? That's why I said non-disclosure agreements or super injunctions is what I would love to get rid of because, yeah, it's secrecy for pay.
Yeah.
You know, it's only the rich can afford to have the secrecy. I don't know. I don't know what the actual libel laws are if you've seen something and report that you've seen something.
Yeah.
But you know what fucking the censorship troubles we've had. So maybe yeah.
But then again, the stuff I've said that hasn't been censored. I seen a video that said Philip Schofield has been in a relationship with a fella for a good number of years, but it started when the fella was quite a number of years younger than Philip Schofield. I mean, he always will be. But
Maybe a few years younger than the
few years
legal
younger
age.
than, maybe 1 year younger.
Okay.
But that the guy himself has tried. Was he paid off or something like that? Because he was
I
going
don't
to
know.
it and
No idea.
gets very very strange.
So they, what's your thought? The thoughts are, I don't
Dunno.
think shouldn't have one. Anyway.
Yeah.
Right, you were talking about getting off social media but still being able to get the news. I would recommend an app called 9gag. Promise it's not porn. It's a meme website.
That's what Philip Schofield has a super injunction out for.
Wasn't that young, was it?
That's so many times.
It's a meme website / app.
The truth is, Philip Schofield fuck Gordon the Gopher there. I said Gordon the Gopher is a callback. There's a flashback push. Jesus, Gordon the Gopher.
Gordon the Gopher
I haven't
was,
heard that name in many a day. Hey.
Sarah Green too. Mind her, eh?
Was she fuck?
Oh.
She was another one. She was tasty.
That was like the Denise Van Ouden mornings.
Yeah. Denise Van Ellen.
And yet Paul Yates upstairs too, the dirty.
boy, fucking right.
Do you mind that interview with Michael Hutchins
No.
in excess?
Oh wait, maybe I do.
Go and watch it. It's kind of sort of repeated all the time on sort of the most outrageous interviews on TV or one of the most, shocking celebrity, whatever. But she was literally one step away from unzipping his fucking trousers and putting the
Was she sitting on his knee or something?
She was intertwined in amongst them and all.
Aye.
She was with Geldof at the time, like, but fucking didn't matter when Hutchins came on board. Like,
Aye.
he wasn't.
On a Monday too.
On a fucking Monday. Yeah, he's responsible for Kylie Minogue's sexual revolution.
Why? Because she was all
Nice.
locomotion.
Yeah, then Hutchins give her the locomotion, and she fucking.
Look what happened to him.
We'll not get into that.
What did happen to him? Did he a sissy wank?
Yeah, allegedly. Yeah.
Is there more? Is there a background to that?
There always was. There was always talk.
Get the Cling film hat on.
There was always a talk of, there was a lot of issues going on at the time. Anyway, right. So so this is 9gag, and it's great for news because you only see what people upvote, which means less stupid bullshit. And the site is also full of memes about current events. It's how I found out the Queen died less than 2 minutes after it happened. So there you are. We were talking about that last week about staying off social media, but also keeping up with the news. Right. Any stand-ins lined up while Mickey is away? There's the doc in Galway. We had armchair and busted sofa already. Who would suit these ones? Sun lounger, high chair, throne, recliner, chaise lounge, rocking chair, bench, office chair, and wheelchair. Not what I call William wheelchair. Like,
William wheelchair.
Sun lounger, Todd has to be.
Yeah. No, Dave. Dave would be sun lounger.
You think so?
He tans well, and he looks like he enjoys a holiday.
High chair. Who's the baby of the group?
Who's the shortest?
The shortest.
Who is the sort of youngest comedian
on the circuit? I don't know. Actually, it's probably like one of the younger lads. Like, what do you call him? Obviously, one of the younger lads. What do you call him? Kieran Franco, and them. That
yeah, we'll be Kieran Franco.
Yeah, one of them younger lads come through the unit. I don't think there's anybody like 18-ish, is there? Maybe there is, but there might be open mics. Kieran for Throne, the King Goblin. Like, you know what I mean? You're going to bring him along.
Yeah, it'd be Kieran.
Recliner.
That'll be you.
Probably not. There's no more laid back than me. Like, chaise lounge. That's going to be.
Who needs the most mental health? Because chaise lounge would be. I would equate to the psychiatrist.
Was a therapy, yeah. So probably Paddy.
No, Paddy's the backseat of a taxi.
Rocking chair. McGarry.
Yeah, yeah.
Bench. Probably me. Or who's going to fill 2 seats? Like,
see, bench would be me as well because I'm never on the team, mama. I'm always riding the pine, as they say in the States.
Just give me a chance, coach.
I swear, I'm ready to do it, boss.
Office chair. Robbie McShane.
Yeah.
It's got to be. Bench could have been fucking McCartney too, but just laid back.
Or Rory Woods, because that's what benches are made out of.
Woods is most chairs.
Yeah.
Right. Would you? This is one. Okay. Would you rather ride 35 out of 10 women in a month, or 10 out of 10 women 30 times in a month?
That one.
Don't forget that you would have to double up between 4 to 7 days, or go around the back for that week that she sprung a leak.
That one.
Yeah, I don't really get that one.
That's the silliest question of all time. Would you rather 2 time a load of half decent looking women, or be in a long term loving relationship with a ride?
Yeah.
The ride one?
Yeah.
And that old sprung a leg thing. See if you're not willing to have sex with a woman who's on her period, fuck out of my face. I'm not going to put my face in it. I won't put my hand in it, but I'll throw my dick up it.
Nah.
Seriously?
Nah.
Doesn't annoy me.
I'll
put a Joe bag on, like I'll wear a raincoat.
Nah, I did it before. Do
you not find period sex, it's oddly drier?
It is.
And you think it'd be the opposite, there's more liquid out there, but
it's not. It's just that then you're talking about congealing stuff and, things. Just
you don't keep it. You have it fucking in the larder. I just congealed there today.
I like to spread it on my Vita.
Oh, fuck off. You took it too far.
I went too far, yeah. No, I never, no. It's the afterwards. It's
just baby wipe it.
That's what I mean. I don't like going in the toilet and I look like a fucking Nightmare on Elm Street. I don't want that. You know what I mean? It's not fucking... No.
I yearn for it.
Nah. Right, Will Young's...
I like it when there's blood during a blowjob. Sorry, no, that's terrible.
It's not
Corsetal pet.
You're a wild bit of gum disease there, lot.
Telling you.
Right.
The films out of you.
Will yums be referred to Yumbo sandwiches as Sambos and General Plums dingoes on Mickey's return? I love the Aussie sayings and can't wait to hear what they've come up with since I was there in my youth. Yumba, I prefer to be called.
Yumba.
Yumba.
That's not really. That's more
My brother's calling
South
me.
African.
My brother calls me
You
Yumba.
smuffling Yumba.
Twing always calls me Yumba. I don't know why. But
Did he give you any feedback about me in the forum?
thought you were actually word for word. I'll give it to you here now because
Just finish the questions in a wee second.
yeah. So my brother Twing said to me he's going to see Jim Owen. I says, "Fuck, I'm really sure the Boyle Bartlett was there." And he goes, "No fucking way." And then I rang you and said that, and then he was over the moon. And he just went, "Bartlett, unreal, funny bastard."
Correct.
So that was him, obviously in the interval before
Jimon himself.
your mom. Right.
Jimon told me a pub joke. Sorry, can I tell you this pub
Go
joke?
on.
Fuck me. So I was standing having a fag outside the forum and he just came out, Mickey, I heard a class joke. So Little Red Riding Hood
Uh-huh.
is walking through the forest, right? He sees the big bad wolf. He says, "Oh, my Mr. Wolf, what big teeth you have." And the wolf runs away, right? So she's walking through the forest again. She sees the wolf again. She goes, "Mr. Wolf, what big red eyes you have." And the wolf runs away. She keeps walking through the forest. She sees the wolf again. She goes, "My Mr. Wolf, what a big red scurry face you have." And the wolf goes, "Would you fuck off and try and have a shite?"
Oh, fuck, Mary. Right. What is the worst terrorist attack you could pull off? What a question.
I'd say eating an entire chili and going to a public toilet.
Oh, that's a good one. That is an explosion.
Do you know what I mean? That's definitely like a... I've told you before, my biggest fear of all time is having that shit on a plane that makes the plane have to land.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
That to me is the worst.
Yeah.
The worst thing I could ever imagine happening.
with the circulating air and all, everybody breathing the
Christ.
same thing. Maybe. I don't know. I'd be very local. You know, you would fuck about just. I wouldn't do anything mad. Like, I wouldn't hurt nobody, but I would like switch flavourings at the potato factory. You know what I mean? That they're packing
So
cheese
you
and
crack
onion.
open it, you crack open salt and vinegar, and you go,
It's cheese and onion.
"Aye,
That would
you're
fuck up
dastardly."
so many
Aye.
people. Like,
I'd go into the Sprite factory, right,
Mhm.
and just put sparkling water in it. Take all the sweetness out of it.
outrage. Whereas the Just Rabbin' Own episode from last week, lads, it's on the way.
Yes, we'll be recording straight after this.
Calm the
Time
ham.
has been a factor now in the last couple of weeks.
Wouldn't have been our best friend now, Mike. Time has not been our friend.
I sort of I've never been so busy in my life.
Flat.
I'm broke.
Yes, it was that. Flat out and broke. Right, what's your favourite breakfast fry combination? All of it except... Do you ever get a fry in England?
Mushrooms, tomatoes, get the fuck out of my face.
No, mushrooms you got to keep. Tomato, if I'm desperate, if I need a wee bit of moisture.
That's what brown sauce is for.
Yeah, I know what
I
you
like
mean, but
2 eggs, 2 tater bread, 2 sausages, 2 bacon, 1 soda, and get that pancake shite the fuck out of my face.
get a pancake in there. We fried pancake.
I'm not a big fan of it.
Get her fried.
And then, see, when I said 2 sausages, what I like to do is go, can I swap the pancake for a 3rd sausage?
Right.
I always leave the sausage the last bite.
Oh, you're ordering. All right. I don't.
I mop up all the rest of the sauce, the last bit of sausage.
No fry in a restaurant or a cafe or diner is any good. It's not as good as your own because they always have like
I don't know. Cafe
the
5 in
sausages.
Lurgan. Remember the fry we went for the day after the live podcast?
It wasn't bad, and I have to say.
Belvedere fry. The only thing
But
with
you
that
have to
place-
like you don't get what you would get like for instance the beans. Would you have beans in yours?
Yeah, would have been.
But you have to fry the beans in the bacon fat
Oh fuck! I've never done that now.
with the wee black bits and all through the beans of the bacon.
Never done that.
Lord.
See, one of the things that I like about Cafe Vibe, shout out to Cafe Vibe, they give you the beans in a wee ramekin,
Yes,
so you can kind of either
I like that
pour it over or you can give it a wee.
because I do like the partridge rule of. You know, you've got to have sausages as a wee barrier, as a wee buffer between the beans because you don't want the beans to soak the bread. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You got to have the ratio right.
Like you were going to say about fries in England, fried bread, weird.
Weird and tinned tomatoes.
Chips.
Oh, chips.
I don't want chips with a fry.
Oh no! If you go to fucking Commore Diner in Omagh, you got a wee scoop of chips from too. Like, all right, you can't beat it. Like, oh, you need them. Like, you need them.
I've never
Oh,
seen
you
you
do.
so
Oh,
excited about
no,
anything ever.
you need them.
But I can't have chips that early in the morning. I know
it doesn't
I'm
matter.
eating fried everything else.
Yes.
And potato bread is essentially a big chip.
Yes.
But I don't know what it is. I just can't.
Well, I mean, we don't want to go into your food quirkiness.
Let's not start that
We
again.
won't start that.
Yeah.
But yes.
Also, I have to admit, if somebody throws a wee poached egg onto a fry instead of a fried egg, I'm never annoyed about it. Never annoyed about it.
Unreal. Now, black and white pudding, yes?
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Lovely.
Where can you get a fry after this?
Come over dinner, we'll go on chips and all.
Don't I have time to pack? Well, that'll be right.
Right, that is us. Thank you very much, everybody.
Yes, thanks very much for listening. Thanks for your continued patronage.
Yes, thank you.
If you're in Australia, fucking check out my Instagram for the dates. The Waterfront Hall is about 50 tickets left.
Unreal. Mighty.
So get on that.
Get on that shit.
I will be announcing a tour soon as well. So February, March next year, I will be going on tour to a town near you. Or I might be working Millennium Forum. I just thought off the back of the two, Jimmo and Jason Manford the last couple months, I thought, well, I'm going to give it a wee bash. So keep your eyes peeled.
So that was the Millennium Forum because you said it very quietly there.
Millennium Forum, I might be. I don't know yet. It might not be. It might be some comms hall. I don't know.
Right. It's be good too.
But we're going for a big venue in Derry this year for the tour. So
lovely.
Stay tuned.
I start on the 3rd of November in Limelight, and then moving on through 10 different dates. Go to eventbrite.co.uk to find the tickets for that. Daly's Comedy Club is back on the first Friday of the month, and we have Paddy McDonald on the 22nd of October. And then what else are we doing? Oh, the band. I'm playing with the band. If anybody wants to come to Oma and hear some soul music, come on down to Oma on the 5th of November and
spectacular.
Rock out with your cock out.
Deadly. Well, thanks for listening. Look after yourselves, hands, face, space, and so on.